The Food Network shows, I think it's allowed a lot of people to experience what they think a kitchen is.
You show up at 4, turn your stove and oven on, and you cook a couple of things, and day is good. The kitchen's a pirate ship, man. I mean, it's a common fight every night to get dinner service done.
I had a moment, and I thought, my daughter's going to turn 5 in 6 months, and she's going to start school, and I'm going to see her on Sunday. That's it. And then he was getting ready to leave Las Vegas, and I was like, hey, I'm from Traverse City, and there's like a ton of good culture. We should open a restaurant together. And he was like, all right, let's do that. So we wanted to work for ourselves. It's a funny thing though, because we started with nothing, like literally nothing.
Less than $2,000.
And we tried to get some investors, but then that whole 2008 market crash happened. And so we just basically pooled our little piddly savings that we've made as cooks and made it happen.
You know we don't do a menu. Thank you for calling the Cook's House.
Some restaurants are purely for profit. I mean, they have a different agenda kind of than we've ever had. So
yeah, I was telling you earlier, we're terrible capitalists, and we're even worse business people, Jen and I. We don't get it. Our poor bookkeeper, I mean, God love her. I mean, turning a profit, unfortunately, is like number 8 or 9. And I think it's only because we have to. I was 13 when I started washing dishes. And it was Mother's Day, Northwest Kansas, the biggest day of the year for any restaurant. We still had dishes stacked up to the ceiling, it felt like. On the way home, Mom asked me how work was, and I said, oh, it was fun, really enjoyed it. She goes, you guys get everything done? I said, no, there was like a lot of dishes left. She stops the car, turns around on the highway, and takes me back to the restaurant. My first day in the job was a 12-hour day. At 13, welcome to the business, baby. You know? It went up from there as time went on. But yeah, so that was my first day in the world. It was exciting. Jen and I, for years, since we've opened the restaurant, have been trying to figure out a work-life balance, not only for us, but for the cooks. You know, early on in my career, I was spending 60, 70 hours, 80 hours a week in the restaurant, in the kitchen. There was no work-life balance early on, and I am resentful because of it, yeah. So about, 3-4 years ago, I said to the kitchen, I'm done in here. You guys, I'll be here. Jen has thankfully picked up what I've dropped. You see, Jen, so she was, she raised Abigail and wasn't in as much as she wanted to be. Now that Abigail is older, she's able to kind of start doing what she's been wanting to do for all these years. So she's jumping into it full, both feet.
I think being a single mom, it's been a really great, because I live upstairs, and I've had the ability to be around Abby all the time, be present at work, but also have some flexibility so that I can pick her up at school.
I mean, the way women were treated in kitchens, the sexism, the possible sexual abuse that would go on, hopefully is getting better. Jen will have to speak to that.
People will say, like, how is it being a woman in the kitchen? Well, I don't know. I don't know any other way. How would I know any other way? Because I've never been a guy in the kitchen. So it just is what it is. It's just the kitchen. I think it gets kind of awkward for me sometimes because Like just opening up the conversation, people say, oh, where's your husband? Or I talked to your husband and your husband is so talented and all this stuff. And so I just kind of let them go. And then after a while, I say, well, I don't have a husband. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. What happened? And I'm like, no, I just don't have a husband. I think maybe you're talking about Eric.
She's been asked, I mean, what exactly you do at the restaurant? A lot more than me, I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? Well, that's the irritating part.
My day is not a typical 9 to 5er. It's like a chunk here and a chunk there, and then we've got to go over here, and then we've got to grab all this, and we've got to go over there, and then we come back here and make this one, and then I have to call this person, call that person. That's kind of the day, like every day, and I usually go to bed around midnight. So, you know, like when people are like, well, what do you do anyway? I'm like, you want like
With a sarcastic answer, or do you want the real
A lot.
More than you do in a week, how's that?
I do a lot. I get a lot of shit done.
We've had people come up, Jen will be sitting at the pass, standing at the pass, people come up.
With the
coat on.
Yeah, with the coat on and the whole thing, you know?
Look around Jen and thank the male dishwasher.
The dishwasher's confused because they're like, why are these people talking to me? You know? It's just a thing. Sometimes it catches me off guard because I'm like, gosh, we have to go through the same conversation again. In the end of the day, I still have my job and I do what I do, and I'm very thankful for that. And that's really the whole thing. But then there's that other like element that's added into it all the time. Are you coming with us?
Coming with us? Yes.
Awesome. I'll talk to you later. Bye, honey. Bye.
We just wanted to be us.
I think
and
at some point someone said something to us like, you know, how does it feel to be like on the forefront of the local sustainable movement or something like that? And we're like, the what? Like, what are you talking about?
And so when we moved up here, it just made sense as chefs to use food that is grown and produced as close as possible. And most of these farmers, I tell you, are not in it for the money. They're in it for the love of what they do. And they're the real rock stars of the food system.
The agriculture here is amazing. And so if it's in season and it's fresh, I mean, sometimes things are picked that day and then we have the opportunity to serve them that night. And it's just a different way of thinking about things and eating.
Real quick on that. I just want. Good. Thanks. Have a good day. Jesus, this is an expensive dinner, huh? There's a worldwide cook shortage, and a lot of it is just the environment, the low pay, and some of it is a work-life balance. Young people today don't want to live their entire lives doing their job, and God love them for it. They're trying to live their lives a bit. They're trying to spend time with their families and friends. So they have my 100% support on this. We literally make our money every day that we're open. But, you know, with us being open only 5 days a week, it enables our staff to have 2 days off in a row, 2 constant days off in a row. They know 6 months from now that they will have Sunday and Monday off.
It's happening. They're like taking care of themselves and not drinking all the time, and you know, it's like amazing watching these humans become like adults and really talented cooks.
Yeah.
Where they want to be is not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time to get there, but a lot of that involves how they approach it in their life as well, because it's a lifestyle, you know. Otherwise, they're just going to burn themselves out.
With the rise of Instagram and social media, and you know, you put the food down and we've got to take pictures of the goddamn thing. We're totally missing the point of what we're supposed to be doing. It's wonderful that, you know, this table here probably doesn't know that table, and that table doesn't know that table, and none of them know the cooks, and none of the cooks know the tables. And in any given situation outside of the restaurant, the misfits and pirates that run these kitchens would never be in the same space as the people dropping $100 for dinner. Are we ready for this? All right, here we go. Everybody, don't make me throw it. Thank you. Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for coming in. So 2 years ago, this was a dinner that we had to cancel when COVID. The original word for restaurant means to restore. It's a restorative thing. Cooks are like one of the first civilizers, you know. Restaurants still have that place. Come in here, you sit around a table like we used to sit around the campfire.
And you share a meal.
And you get to know each other. You're a community. We're two cooks in a small, obscure restaurant in Traverse City, Michigan. Just want to make a living and go home.
Did you ever consider doing something else?
I did. I wanted to be a priest so bad I could taste it. But me and the Lord, we started seeing other people, so that kind of took a nosedive.
If you could, in this situation, what would be your last meal?
Jesus.
I would have a lot of separate items, like really good French fries, a really good apple, maybe a nice cheese plate and some bread, and definitely some butter. It would be like a snacking smorgasbord extravaganza.
Probably a cigar and a martini. Because I don't eat, I mean, eating itself just for the sake of eating is boring. So I guess a cigar and a martini, 3 olives. Blue cheese.